Sognefjord, I don't know how to pronounce it. It is in Norway, and Norway is in Northern Europe and Scandinavia. Norway, Sweden, Finland. Now the whole western side of Norway is full of fjords. So areas where there are like cracks into the country, but they are big, it's a big country. And they are from glaciers. The Earth has gone through multiple ice ages, and the last one was, for example, around 100,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago, peaking 50,000 years ago. And from that time, the current appearance of the Sognefjord was created. I think the previous ice ages had also started to create it. During these ice ages, there were large sheets of ice sheets over all the northern part of the Earth, I think also the southern part. And a big part of Norway was under it, and there were glaciers. So there was a glacier running through an ancient river system. There is just the place where the glacier is starting at, a typical glacier, starting with a little flatter area next to the bergschrund where it starts. It goes a bit down, and then there's just a flatter area where snow is now accumulating. It's pressing down from the one cliff, from the bergschrund, pressing in, creating a rotation slip, and going down as a glacier. Something like that must have happened there also, that there was going through that big valley, a glacier through, creating that big fjord. And not just Sognefjord, the biggest one, 240 kilometers, big 240 kilometers. So Norway is big. And also the other fjords all around the coast of Norway. And also Sognefjord has multiple branching of fjords where other glaciers were going in. Not so big, not so deep. Now that glacier has gone through it, the Jostedal Glacier, which is again there. It is thought that it had completely returned after the ice age had ended 10,000 years ago, but it reappeared during the Little Ice Age, 15th to 19th century. It's now 300 meters big. It's from 1989. So the Jostedal Glacier was going through it, scraping out that valley, making it U-shaped and completely out. It was 3,000 meters big far inland, 210 kilometers inland, and then further to the coast, 50 kilometers in, just 100 meters big. And that caused it to have less power than in front, because it had less power there. It has scraped out less there, so it's deeper further behind and then a little higher. At the entry bay, the hills are bare. There's not much soil and there's not much growing. Further inland, in the middle of the fjord, by Vik, the town Vik on the southern bank, which means bay, there it is more fruitful. There are fruit trees growing in this region, more in the center. A lot of fruit trees, 60,000 fruit trees are at Likerinden, apricot, walnut, and peaches. Now it is deep, pretty deep, and very steep also going up the cliffs. A ship can go directly just an arm length next to the cliff and is still not running on ground underneath. It's going very steep down, 1,000 meters deep, more than 1,000 meters deep, 1,200 meters deep, and then a little higher at the end. Also, the other fjords are not completely that deep. Now, and Oslo is down there, Bergen is here, 240 kilometers north of Oslo. There's the Sognefjord big, and all the coast has fjords. Now, beside the reindeers are from time to time there. The reindeers are in the summer more north in Norway, in the tundra region, breeding and stuff like that. And in the winter they're going further down in the center more of Norway, and are there during the winter months eating from lesions. And male and female have both antlers, is also said in the book. What is else said there? There is also said that there were Vikings, and they had ships with scary figureheads, not just to scare off enemies, but also to ward off evil spirits on the long ship travels. And there is said that at the region also where people had 4-meter big limestone thing as an example, 3.7 meters limestone. And that was then depicting on the top the hero dying in battle, then the funeral of the hero having his entry into Valhalla, the heaven of warriors, and also a ship depicting the travel of a passage of a soul. I think also into Valhalla, is not said in the book, into Valhalla. And there's also the biggest waterfall somewhere in the region. There's the Ernedals Fjord going up. And there at that beginning of that fjord, there's the biggest waterfall, 275 meters deep down. And that falls is that. And also then we're at one fjord at the Lustedal Fjord, at the town of Sognefjord, there is going a mountain pass over to Sweden, I think Sweden. And there's also the highest mountain of Norway and the whole Scandinavia, Glacier, 2,700 something meters. And these mountains, they are out of the same rocky material as the ones in Scotland. And in the town of Wick, which I already talked about, there is a pagoda roofed Hopperstead church. And there the things are also a bit like the Viking figureheads, also the things. And for example, the altar and the choir are reminiscence of these ships in a way like that. And one can see the best from the fjord from the fjord, is said in the book, when one drives through the cliffs going high up, the mountains to the sides. And I think that is what was said here on these 4 pages. That is according to the Atlas of Natural Wonders by Rupert O. Matthews on the pages 12, 13, 14 and 15. The positions and views expressed are the ones of a source and not necessarily aligned with my own or with the ones of the entity spoken.